I never realized it was a crime.
And I never realized you were so pathetic.
Before I threw in the towel, I just wanted to learn what it takes to achieve a happy ending with a man.
Oh, so these are actually instructional books. Let me see that. She hoped that in another life she'd be a redhead. Fiery, headstrong, independent. A redhead? The kind of woman who didn't heed anyone but her own inner voice. An inner voice that would guide her to that most holy and elusive of grails, her soulmate.
Except, soulmates don't exist. They just don't.
Some men just don't have the cojones to commit. That's all.
Maybe lifetime commitments are just unrealistic. Maybe people outgrow one another.
Not all people.
And then, just like that, came the kind of life-altering epiphany that great novels are based on. True love comes in all colors, shapes, sizes. Who says mine need arrive in a tall, dark, and strikingly handsome package? Maybe something far greater awaited me in someone much, much smaller. Sure, I'd thought about motherhood before, but I always assumed it would come after the chapter where I met the man of my dreams. But after helping countless writers alter their storylines, why can't I do the same for my own? That is an editor's job, after all. Finding the unique heart of a narrative and bringing it out.
Rita, if you want to learn something about a potential lover, read his writing. Most men make love the way they write.
This guy humps like he's double parked.
Elizabetta. Pastrami, bacon, peanut butter.
If you wanted to kill yourself, you should have just kept smoking. At least that way, you'd stay thin.
It's not about thin. It's about wellness.
Okay, well, then let's find the next piece to be edited by the newer, healthier you. Lithium Days, Glenlivet Nights, a collection of tales by Jake Buckley.
Sounds like the feel-good read of the year.
Here, analyze these entrails.
Jake Buckley.
Make it the store for you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Can you tell
Well, I'm gonna tell you one little plot twist, huh? Like a little plot twist?
Be the big bad wolf.
That's it.
Yes, tell me. I want you to tell me.
That's it. That's it.
Yes!
That's it! I got it!
Bad wolf! And just when did this literary notion pop into your head?
Trust me, you don't want to know.
Unbelievable. Self-centered prick. Big bad wolf my ass. Where the heck's my thong? Is there anything you care to say?
Could you grab me an egg roll?
An egg roll? Goodbye.
Okay, thanks. They're in the refrigerator underneath the cheese.
So you're saying Mr. Lithium Days is a romantic?
Oh, but the worst kind, the subversive romantic. As hopeless as Bogart in Casablanca waiting for Ilsa Lund to walk into his gin joint. But in reality, he walks off into the night with Claude Rains because Ilsa only exists in his mind when he beats off. But the seed of something really good is in here. Set up a meeting.
Max should be ready any moment.
Oh, thanks.
You sure I can't get you anything? Coffee, tea, shot of Glenlivet?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
I bet you are.
Excuse me?
Max,
This is Jake Buckley.
Mr. Buckley, please.
Wow.
Have a seat.
I was intrigued by one of the short stories in your Lithium Days collection, Homer's, Hummers, and the Mick.
I found it an excellent metaphor for the decline of the white heterosexual male.
Excuse me?
I'd like to publish your story in this October's issue, which deals with the ascension of gays, blacks, and women in politics.
I think you've got the wrong piece. This isn't a lament to that bygone era. This is a father-son story about a young man who learns to appreciate his father by accepting his flaws.
That's one way to look at it, if you're in denial.
Do you know anything about baseball, Miss Normaine? Mickey Mantle was mercilessly booed by Yankee fans until they came to accept him for who he was rather than who they wanted him to be.
Set in the glory days of housewives, segregation, and fags. Look, I'm not sure exactly how to say this, but I find your nostalgic, patriarchal yearnings a bit blatant.
No, what's blatant, Miss Norman, is your pathetically misguided liberal misinterpretation of my story.
You know, I noticed that there are no women in this unpublished story. Do you have mother issues or something?
Well, I know enough not to want to sleep with her. Do you always psychoanalyze your writers?
Only the unpublished ones. They're the ones I try to help.
Okay. About my story.
Yes. I want to make sure I have this straight. A young man who hates his father comes to understand and even love him through the sharing of such male adventures as beaver shooting?
Kinda, but...
I mean, the metaphor is brilliantly executed. The young man's journey from hatred to acceptance is merely the external parallel of his inner journey. Which brings him to terms with his own latent homosexuality, which he has clearly been in denial about.
I am taking my story the hell out of here.
I found your story, Mr. Buckley. And frankly, it was no small task. Buried as it was beneath the infantile, lonely, bitterly egocentric, and frankly trite, pseudo-masculine bluster.
Pseudo-masculine. Pseudo-masculine. No, dear, that bluster was 100% certified genuine masculine.
Genuinely.
You know, maybe if you replace that red pen with the real thing once in a while, you might get a screw with something other than just some writer's mind.
Oh, someone's getting old.
Why don't you try biting me like you did when you were 4?
Because he gave me indigestion.
Speaking of which, I blew up that chef you tried to set me up with last week. What can I say? It didn't pan out.
You know what? This isn't funny, Max. This is the 3rd time Gary and I have tried to set you up this month, and the 3rd time you've blown him off.
Also the last. I've decided I'm through with men. I'm going straight to having a kid.
Oh!
Thanks to artificial insemination, the male is now easily replaced by the most common way to collect the semen is by masturbation. Masturbation.
Whoa. I have to hand it to her. You wanted to write a tribute to your father and you narcissistically turned it into a story about yourself. She approached your story like it had bad teeth and she was a dentist.
What kills me is the way that bitch tried to make me out to be a homo... Wait a minute, what did you say?
I said that bitch can edit. I've seen her work. She's up there with the best in the business.
She ruined my story.
Your unpublished story?
Maybe it should stay unpublished. That way it can maintain its integrity.
Jake, your children needed to die. Someone had to kill them.
Who is she, Medea?
Oh, look, darling, she is the first editor who really understands your writing. I taught you. No one cares more about the state of your literary offspring than I. Do you realize how many writers would give their left nut for a chance at publication in that magazine? You did leave things on good terms, I hope.
You could say that.
Oh.
I want a kid. What's so hard to understand?
You having a kid. Christ. Max, just because you can afford to do it on your own doesn't mean you should. I mean, there's still time for the right guy to come along. Not all men cheat.
No. 76% merely admit to it, and the other 24 are lying.
Okay, so then what are you gonna do? Sperm bank?
The anonymity appeals to me.
Oh, at what cost? I mean, you won't even know what you're getting.
Fine. What do you suggest I do? Hold auditions? Place an ad in the LA Weekly?
Well, aren't you the one who's always bragging about her powers and abilities far beyond that of a mortal editor? Maybe you should just get a writing sample.
After my father's funeral, I remember getting blind. I don't mean drunk, I mean stone blind with my mother and a bottle of Glenlivet. She surprised me when she told me she understood that my father teaching me the importance of hitting the cutoff man was merely an excuse to create a bond. No matter how far apart we drifted, we always had the cutoff man.
Cutoff man.
Later on, when I had my own kid, I tried to teach him a love of the game. It wasn't easy at first.
Because the shadow of your father's neglect, so simply and heartbreakingly described, threw me back to a time when my own father's misery squelched whatever joy I might have known as a child. Unfortunately, it also seems to have squelched the mature writing of a sensitive and recklessly romantic adult male who buries the heart of his stories beneath the forced macho style of a boy. Who are you, Jake Buckley? Do you dare free your beautiful fable from its juvenile trappings? Are you brave enough to show the world the wonderful writer you and I both know you really are? How else will they ever witness
The small moments in between the big ones. I didn't really notice them at the time, but when I look back, I can see that added together, they were what made us who we became, a father and a son.
Correctly, the wild grizzly caught in the steel trap is a metaphor for the pussy-whipped modern man ensnared by a more masterful vagina.
What? No. It's a story about the horrors of hunting.
The horrors of hunting?
What the fuck are you doing here? I gotta start locking my door.
Look, I don't know exactly how to say this, but I would like to publish Homer's Hummers in the Mick with two conditions. First, after you explain to me who the hell the cutoff man is and why he's so important, we print my edited version. Second, how do I phrase this? I would like your seed.
Come again.
10 lousy CCs. Come on, you won't even miss them.
You know, I might actually have never said this to a woman before in my whole life, but you might be the most fucked up person I have ever met.
Listen, it's a simple bargain. I'll give life to your child if you'll give life to mine.
A simple bargain. Isn't that what Faust thought?
I'm not asking for your soul. I'm asking for your sperm.
Fuck my sperm. What do you mean, your edited version?
Jake, I don't want to date you. I certainly don't want to sleep with you. And I'm not suggesting any kind of relationship with you that isn't strictly professional. But let's face it, with your raw talents as a writer and my skills as an editor, together we can create something far better than either of us ever could alone. I happen to think that that metaphor extends nicely to the reproductive arena.
You're talking about having my baby, but you're blackmailing me with my story.
Maybe when you sober up, you'll see things differently.
What's the matter? Can't find any of their males crazy enough to participate in this threat to mankind?
You're a good writer, Jake. I could have helped show that to the world.
What happens if the tabloids get a hold of this? My credibility goes in the toilet. Writer sells her story in exchange for sperm. It's scandalous.
You should be so lucky. Sales of the Satanic Verses quadrupled after the Ayatollah Khomeini put a fatwa on Salman Rushdie.
Right. Well, better I should let her put a fatwa on my integrity.
Now, what's really bothering you is that she made your story better.
No, that's not the point. Does she really like my work? Or is she agreeing to publish it just so she can get my seed?
Oh, for Christ's sake. She liked your writing so much that she wanted a child with you. What higher praise is there?
Hold on, Professor. Aren't you the same person that said that a prostitute is someone who sells their body, but a whore is someone who sells their stories to Disney?
Implicit in the concept of writing is a connection to a reader. What we are talking about is an award-winning magazine with an enormous circulation. However, if you'd like to continue your glorious career as a substitute teacher, be my guest.
I just want you to know, before you broke into my house and turned my dog against me, I never would have come here to debase myself by allowing you to publish your over-edited version of my story.
Call it wishful thinking.
Just tell me where and when.
I'm ovulating around the 14th.
I cannot believe what I am seeing.
But you said you weren't seeing anyone else.
I'm not. What the hell are you doing here?
We had a date. You, me, a paper cup at a certain clinic. I thought I would come by and pick you up. Little did I expect to find that you'd already gone and picked somebody else up and came with my sperm.
You know what? This is a little too Fellini for me, okay? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where's my goddamn underwear?
I can't believe I have to delay a month because you have zero control.
Look, okay, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Would you at least like to stay for a cup of coffee? Hey!
Jim Thompson, Mozart, Charlie Parker. Bunch of beautiful losers.
You are unbelievable. Oh, and just for the record, every single person you just mentioned was merely unappreciated in their own lifetime, but went on to huge posthumous success.
Yeah?
Well, if I catch you giving away your end of the bargain again, that's the only kind of success you're gonna have, too.
Coffee actually smells pretty good.
Okay, that'll be it.
Take a look at this, will you?
What now?
Is P-H-A-T a hip-hop spelling of fat, or is he just an idiot?
And to think I accused you of having an Oedipal complex.
Are you hearing this? Mother issues and me.
Says he reading a Jim Thompson novel where the lead character hits his mother and he experiences an orgasm.
Okay, you wanted to talk, so talk.
It didn't take.
I need more sperm.
Well, then go find yourself another writer to blackmail, because I already fulfilled my end.
Well, your story's in limbo until I'm pregnant.
Hey, I agreed to delivering 10 cc's of viable...
Is Limp Bizkit a euphemism for a sexual problem?
They're a rock group. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna stay unpublished or... Oh my God!
All right, you
You're
don't want to
averting
publish
McCall.
me, that's fine. I don't need it, but I'll tell you one thing. I don't need to
Miss
hear it.
McCall, I'm Max Romaine.
Yes, I assumed as much, unless my former protege is also giving his progeny to another publisher. Hey, how's that for alliteration?
2 Men and a Hog-Nosed Snake was the first piece of literature that really spoke to me as a woman.
You're really familiar with my work?
Familiar? I have it all. In first editions.
Really?
Christ, please don't do this to me.
I'm also familiar with your work, Ms. Normaine. I have read your magazine, and you have an impeccable eye for new fiction.
No kidding. Would you consider writing a piece for our next issue?
Oh, I would be delighted. Move over.
That's okay. I was just gonna kill myself anyway.
But first, don't forget that business in the paper cup.
I am so excited.
What do you want me to write about, dogs?
Would you excuse us, please?
Got a problem?
What I got is what you want. And if you really want to get it, then you got to take it the old-fashioned way.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. And don't you go worrying about my career. I figure if I'm willing to get screwed, then there are plenty of editors out there who are happy to oblige.
Bravo. Bra-fucking-bo.
Well, I applaud your use of the double entendre in a sentence. I can't help but subtract points for your startling lack of originality. Although in light of my familiarity with your writing, it's not really all that startling.
Do you have a point?
1 minute.
Pardon me, Miss McCall.
Yes?
Do you happen to have an office in this building? Mr. Buckley and I need to have a little tete-a-tete. I've got drinks with Philip Roth in an hour, so we're gonna have to move this along.
Hello? I'm ovulating over here as we speak. Shall I go round up another paper cup for us?
Are you serious? I don't think you're serious.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You're testing me?
When's the last time, Max?
This isn't about sex, Jake.
Well, you're the editor. Why don't you translate the subtext for me? Because I'm a little confused then.
I'm done editing you. Once we're done with our business here, I'm done with you.
You won't be needing this anymore, will you?
Give me that.
All right. I'll meet you at the clinic. You just tell me where and when.
Rock and roll, Eddie.
As I thought I'd explained in class, obviously with no success, the relationship between Boo Radley and Scout was not thinly disguised pedophilia.
I thought I might find you up here.
Hey, how's it going?
So, any chance you might need another special delivery in the near future?
What's that?
You're a smart guy. You figure it out.
Thank you.
so much. Please come again. Bye-bye.
Who died? The rabbit. Congratulations, Aunt Liza.
What's it matter who? Just some writer.
And you like the way he conjugates his verbs?
I was hoping you would be happy for me.
This isn't about you, Max.
I'm the one that's pregnant.
Exactly.
Oh. So because you can't have children, I'm not supposed to either?
No, you're not supposed to have children because you are a single, self-centered, manipulative workaholic who, once this novelty of a semi-domestic existence grows old, will be spitting out venom and killing her own like a cobra.
Very vivid, but technically inaccurate. Cobras are actually quite maternal.
Really?
Look, I can only imagine how hard this must be for you. But there's always adoption.
Not for Gary. He's decided we're better off without kids.
Maybe you're better off without Gary.
You'll forgive me if I take with a grain of salt anything you say having to do with men. Damn it. I mean, all I ever wanted was to be Carol Brady.
A lovely lady married to a closet homosexual?
All relationships have problems, Max.
Or maybe being a housewife and a mother just isn't all that it's cracked up to be.
Well, we all can't be the prodigy of the publishing world, can we? Apparently now the only thing I'm better at than you is kickboxing.
Liza, I really want you to play a big part in my child's life. I know that it won't be yours, but it's the second closest thing.
Never ceased to amaze me what a fabulous drummer your father was. Oh. He rarely knew what key he was in.
He rarely knew what city he was in.
That's true. But he certainly knew a minor key when he heard one. I'm sure that's because he spent so much time away from you.
Well, sometimes I think it would have been better off if you would have stayed away completely.
Really? Do you?
Come on, how long did you two date? If I think anyone would have understood, it would have been you. I know what you're trying to do.
What?
What? You're trying to get me to take responsibility when this child was born because you think my father being on the road all the time left me with some deep psychological scars and resentment.
Did it?
Why? Just because I have a hard time committing to anything outside my narcissistic circle of my writing and my dog?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think she was trying to tell me I'm about to repeat my father's mistake. And I'm thinking she might be right.
My experience with fathers was such that I'm not anxious to inflict one on my own child.
Inflict? A child needs two parents. Go ahead, read the unedited version of Homer's Hummer and the Mick.
A child needs two parents who coexist better than streptococcus and amoxicillin.
Excuse me, Max. Could you slide down a bit?
You agreed to this, remember? One conversation with an old friend and you've suddenly had a total change of heart?
So, why don't you tell me how you've been feeling, Max?
I've barfed off 10 pounds. I've got enough gas to float the Goodyear blimp. But on top of everything, Faustover here is looking to amend our deal.
That sounds about right. All the mental, physical, and emotional upheavals are just Mama Nature's way of preparing you for the chaos of parenting.
Yeah? She tell you that herself?
This might be a little cold.
Look, Max, if you just let me plead my case.
Case? What case? You selfishly bartered away your progeny. Now you've selfishly returned to piss all over your turf and mark it as yours.
This is not about me.
Well, a week ago it was about your writing. And now you've changed your mind. Who's to say you won't change it back again? Ambivalence in a writer I can deal with. Ambivalence in a father, Not gonna happen. Not to my kid.
This ball game is long from over.
You want another baseball analogy?
Yeah!
The fat lady's singing.
Well, there it is. See, there's the heart. Got a great rhythm going, strong in rhythm.
The cold pose does not mean sex sans foreplay. Sans without foreplay.
Oh, yeah, sure, okay.
It's an old grift and involves a beautiful woman and a man caught with his pants down and a pissed off husband with a gun.
Sorry to interrupt, honey, but we're late for Lamar's class. Don't you have homework or something, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go study how to identify a cheating pig.
Wow. How you feeling?
Like a constipated yak, only worse. Congrats on the book.
Thanks.
Could have used a better editor.
Oh, what can you say? All the ones I spoke to already had kids.
You didn't speak to me.
Looks like you're getting close.
Another 2.5 weeks.
You scared?
What? Just a little.
What's the matter? You okay?
Oh, this kid loves to kick.
Can I?
Yes, you may. Elbow?
Yeah. He's strong.
Or she? Are you scared?
Me? Of what?
You're about to become a huge success.
Yeah.
I'm in a home right now, but you can try my cell phone, my publicist, or in an extreme emergency, my agent.
Hi, Jake. This is Rita, Max's assistant. If you're there, can you pick up the phone?
Hello.
Putang ina, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Yan rin falta! Who the hell are you talking to? Utruli!
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, bye.
You fucking asshole! Hola, på der själv hindrande amerikanska jävlen. Om jag bara kunde finna min trosa!
What? What'd you say?
Oh! She said what the fuck was so goddamn important? Fine! Oh, that's great. Oh, min trosa, min fan! Don't you have anything to say?
I just became a father.
Oh, fy fan! Idioten, idioten, idioten! What is that, putang na? Why does this always happen to us?
Can I help you?
No, how's it going?
Is this for Miss Normain?
Yes, yes it is.
Well, wouldn't you rather...
No, that's okay, no.
Well, she and the baby are both awake. I'm sure she'd be fine.
I know, but it's okay. I really don't think she wants to see me. Not right now. Could you just tell her? Here. Thanks.
He was here just a second ago. I can probably still catch him if you want me to.
No, that's okay. Just let him go.
You sure?
The sun did not shine, it was too wet to play. So we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Publishing.
Jenna, this is Jake Buckley.
Hey, you think about the European tour?
Listen, I want to take you up on your offer.
Coming up in our next half hour, we talk books, boob jobs, and business with your host, Barbara Jillian.
And on today's Homegrown Hot Stuff, my guest is the deep, ponderous, and scruffily handsome Jake Buckley. He's the City of Angels' hottest new scribe, and he's almost as good to look at as he is to eat. I mean, read. So, Jake, tell me, your debut collection of stories is a bestseller, and you're on your first major book tour. Are you loving Madrid or what?
See.
Madrid? When did he go to Madrid?
Yeah, I have to tell you, it's been an amazing experience. Madrid's a beautiful city, and the people are very warm and friendly.
The people are very warm and friendly. Translation: Spanish women go down easier than the sangria.
But I'd bet my new boobs. Dr. Seymour Lichtenstein, genius, that the recurrence of father-son issues was no accident.
You know, that's what I was trying to get at. You know, this is really, the story's about the complexities of a father-son relationship, so...
I think for once, just once, he would mention my...
Even though I don't know exactly
Mention my...
It's funny, you should say that I started to stray from the theme until I met up with the editor of Urbanity magazine, Max Normain. Up until then, I had a pretty embarrassing display of unfocused overwriting.
You hear that, Emma? Daddy just admitted he'd be nowhere without Mommy.
Anyway, the point is, the book's great. Or so my brainiac pretentious assistant tells me.
Well, thank you.
And you're astoundingly telegenic for a writer.
Thank you, and we'll see how the next one goes.
Have your people call my people when you get back to LA.
Unfreaking believable. Can you believe this crap? His whole faux career's been one surgical procedure after another. Hello? Am I talking to myself over here or what? Buckley, age 36, has struck a chord with women via his uncompromising writing, which manages to be both tough and tender at the same time. Oh, gag me. In a politically correct world which has managed to strangle the life's blood out of much of American fiction, Buckley, who currently resides in Europe, balances a modern sensibility with the 50s nostalgia. So help me God, I am going to puke.
Puke, puke, puke. It's time for us to talk literature on Book Chat.
Should we make some pancakes, sweetie?
This is Book Chat, and today I'm very fortunate to have as my guest Jake Buckley.
Not the best goddamn book ever. But pretty goddamn good.
Good night, baby.
Mommy,
Yes?
what's an editor?
Well, I take people's writing and I make it better. But sometimes they forget that I do, and they move to Europe and they get great big heads.
Mommy,
What?
when can I sleep in my own bed?
Well, if you really want to, anytime you want.
I'm only asking because I'm a big girl now.
Yes, you are. Now, before I pull my oblique stretching for the light, are there any other issues you'd like to discuss?
Who's my daddy?
Why do you ask?
Don't all kids have daddies?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Where's mine? Did I come from a test tube?
Where did you get that? Where did you learn test tube?
My friend Madison came from a test tube. Both of her mommies don't like men. Do you don't like men?
A, you did not come from a test tube. And B, I don't not like men. Let me show you something. Do you see your eyes? Do you have your daddy's eyes? Do you see your crooked smile? You have your daddy's crooked smile? Now, do you hear all the questions you're asking me? You have your daddy's ability to drive me completely crazy.
Is he nice?
He can be.
Then how come he doesn't want to see me?
Oh, honey, he does want to see you.
When?
Soon.
Promise?
I promise. If you promise to stop asking questions and go to sleep.
Okay, Mommy. Okay.
you're not. It seems all seems tired.
Maybe you should give up on her. You've been coming here, what, about a week now?
Something like that.
I'm Liza.
Jake.
Hello.
Hello. Which one's yours?
Pink camouflage pants and the pigtails. It's my niece.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is. So let me guess, your MO is to seek out discontented housewives yearning for emotional fulfillment.
Why are you a discontented housewife?
That's since I got rid of my discontentment. Tell him your joke, honey.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow?
So you have any kids of your own?
Nah, just wasn't in the cards.
Mommy, tonight I have a boyfriend over. There's lasci and Polo at the playground.
Oh, bet. Hey, sorry I'm late.
Jake.
Max.
Jake?
My Emma?
Come on, Emma, let's go wash your hands, okay, sweetheart? Come on, baby.
So maybe just showing up wasn't the best idea, but I've only been back a week.
Well, not everything is about you, Jake. This is about Emma. I just want to make sure that she doesn't think you rejected her.
Why the hell do you think I just spent the past 4 years living in Europe?
The euro is strong and the women are weak.
I thought I could handle it. But once Emma was born, I realized I was just kidding myself, Max. If I'd lived close enough to be around Emma, I'd had to have been around Emma.
So you ran away? Like a shameless craven?
No, I ran like the streptococcus to the impending amoxicillin. Anyway, I figured Emma was better off with one parent who loved her than two that hate each other. And Marty says you were doing a great job raising her, so I respected your wishes.
And now?
And now I figured to hell with your wishes.
Emma, are you asleep yet? Emma, sweetie, I need you to be awake.
Mommy.
Honey, look, I need to talk to you. And I need you to be awake. Okay, this is kind of weird. It might sound really weird, but, you know, actually it's not really all that weird once you know the backstory behind it. See?
Mommy.
Okay. See, what I'm trying to say is, you know that man that you met at the beach playground?
Who analyzes lasci?
You thought he was nice, right?
He bought us ice cream and told jokes. They weren't that funny, but he tried.
Well, that's something, isn't it?
Mommy, I'm sleepy.
What I wanted to tell you, you know how you've been wanting to meet your father? Jake Buckley is your daddy.
How come Liza didn't tell me?
Because I didn't tell her what he looked like.
How come my father didn't say anything either?
Look, honey, what's really important is your father is here now. He wants to get to know you. If that's okay with you, if that's what you want, you can take all the time you need to think about it.
Okay, Mommy. Okay, great.
Okay? Okay, you would like that?
okay? You would like world peace? Oh, Emma, sweetie, this is really important, baby. Honey.
Babysitter's here. Nice dress. Emma, let me in.
You're early. I had no idea you'd be so anxious to babysit. Hello!
What, you got yourself shaving?
Very funny. Bras, for the love of God.
What is that, some kind of infection?
Ow! That's gonna leave a mark. What are you doing?
Come here. Trust me. This is clearly a two-person operation. You lift, and I'll secure. I didn't know that you liked E.E. Cummings.
How could you know?
Hey, what the fuck's going on in here?
We were just... She needed help. There was a... What are you doing here?
Not using a piece of tape as a flimsy excuse to grab my sister's tits, that's for sure.
He was helping me with the fucking braza. Maybe if you'd been here on time instead of searching for your identity and yet another bottle of peroxide, you could have perhaps helped me instead.
What's really going on here?
She knows.
Mommy!
Emma, sweetie, 1 minute, okay?
Mommy, there's a lady.
Emma, please, a little bit of patience, okay?
Bonsoir. I'm sorry, Jake. I know you asked me to wait with Emma, but I must admit I was very eager to finally meet Max.
Hello.
First, her name is Isabel, okay?
Oh, of course it is.
Second, she wasn't even sure she was willing to leave Paris. She arrived yesterday. She surprised me. You know, I just think if she's going to be a part of my life, then she has to be a part of Emma's.
And I think maybe we're all making a big mistake.
Meaning what?
Meaning that things were going just fine with you in Europe. Certainly wasn't hurting your career any, or your love life.
You know, Max, I really don't think you want to fight that fight with me.
I've had nearly 4 years to rest up for anything you have to throw at me.
And I've had 4 years to decide what it is I really want.
And you conveniently decide to start pursuing it now that the diaper changing days are over?
I'm serious.
Really? Would have thought you'd be serious.
Bonsoir. Oh, please. Such a cliché. The American writer abroad who falls for a French woman, and a younger yet more sophisticated French woman of substance to boot. He couldn't just charm some starstruck student at the Université. I hate French women. They can whisper, please pull the remote out of my hiney in French and make it sound sexy.
What in the world is she stewing about over there? It's not like she was the one who flirted with Jake at the beach, only to learn he had a child with her sister and a chic French girlfriend. She wanted a career, she became a success. She wanted a child, she somehow morphed into Mother of the Year. She told Jake to stay out of Emma's life. He moved to another continent, but now he's back, and for the first time in her life, Max doesn't have control. This would almost be enjoyable if I hadn't shrunk my goddamn thong in the wash.
Look at that American bitch. What she needs is 10 minutes alone with me, Giuseppe Juan Papadakis. I will show her what Greek men are made of.
I hope at least some of you understood that the image of the young man rising from the bush is the central phallic image. Okay. Here's how to close the hole in your souls. Burn every copy of every book by those two illiterate jackies. And do something sexual you've never done before.
Can you give us an example?
Well, here perhaps is a novel concept. Try using unbridled, passionate, good old-fashioned lovemaking as an expression of the eponymous emotion from which the term itself was coined. Use the physical to transcend the physical. Yeah, I know, it can be goddamn terrifying, but it's exhilarating and liberating. But the first step, and this is the hardest, is to acknowledge the emotion of love itself.
You knew that Jake was back in town?
How do you think he knew at which playground to look for you and Emma? Unfortunately, I didn't have any recent photographs to email him, so he didn't recognize her.
So I assume that you also know about Isabel, then?
She was in charge of Jake's European book tour. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her as yet, but I understand she's quite fabulous.
Well, right now, she's being fabulous in my home with my child. Apparently, you're unfamiliar with the concept of a heads up.
On the contrary, I simply found it impossible to implement while living under this cone of silence you dropped on my head 4 years ago.
What's your problem? Anytime either of you feel like handing me the decoder ring to your private conversation, feel free.
My darling, if the subtext were any more obvious, we'd need subtitles.
It's come across your desk.
A romance that can't move forward until the heroine has, shall we say, pulled her head out of her proverbial ass and realized her own motivations.
Holy shit!
Wow, you're really, punctual.
Mama, put me down.
Okay. Wait, Emma.
Oh, it's okay. Come on in.
Wow. All that money and you're still renting this dump, huh?
Actually, I bought this dump, huh? All 8 units. Gonna tear it down and turn it into one Mondo Beach Palace.
No kidding.
No, I haven't decided where I'd rather be yet.
Mommy, what's that?
Well, I don't know.
I'll get that. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll be right back.
Wait, come here, wait! That looks pretty old.
This glove's as old as I am.
It must be really old. Maybe one day you could play a couple innings with me and Mommy.
You and Max play baseball?
Mommy says it's really important I learn about it. Ask me anything I know all about Squeeze Place, the infield fly wall, and the cutoff man.
The cutoff man?
Yeah, but I still don't know why boys like baseball so much. Hockey's way faster.
Yeah. She knew the man I could be, maybe even should be. Though she had a peculiar way of showing this to me.
Jesus.
She never asked me to change.
What a load of sentimental schmaltz.
You don't edit me anymore, Max.
Well, somebody should. Time has made you soft.
Showing vulnerability and being vulnerable aren't always the same thing.
Yeah? That sounds really deep. I have no idea what the heck it means.
I think you do. You know, sometimes soft can be nice. Sometimes soft can be very, very comfortable.
Emma, come on, sweetie.
think it's time for you guys to get going.
Aren't you going to come with us?
Oh, no, sweetie. See, that wasn't the plan.
Then how come you look like that?
Look like what?
Like you want to come with us.
Emma, would you be more comfortable if your mommy came with us to the carousel?
I'm not uncomfortable.
You two ever been here before?
We have other places.
Carousels make Mama toss up cookies.
2, please.
3.
What about your cookies?
My cookies are just fine, thank you.
3. Whoa, easy.
Where's my child?
Our
What?
child. Come on. Hey.
Mommy, you need a horsey.
I thought maybe I would just stand, sweetie.
No, Mama, no, you need a horsey. That one over there. That white one.
Okay.
Need a hand saddling up?
You say that to all the girls?
Only the ones who need help.
Well, I don't.
What? I've never seen anyone with motion sickness perform.
No. I've never seen anyone wear their lipstick quite this way before. Damn.
Daddy, come sit with me.
Go.
You're really good with her mags.
She makes it easy. Now, that's a real art. Like dancing and painting. Writing is it's very premeditated.
Premeditated. So you're comparing it to a criminal act.
Mama, look.
That's cool, baby. I just think that it divorces you from the initial emotion. That, and it's essentially a cowardly substitute for action.
So only by being impulsive are we being true to ourselves.
Speaking of impulses, I think lunch would...
So you're hungry. I'm thinking of this little hole in the wall just off the boardwalk that's got the most incredibly, disgustingly wonderful sandwiches. My favorite is corned beef, cucumbers, onions.
The Rimsky-Korsakov?
You know Raskolnikovs?
When's the Lizaveta?
Bonjour. My meetings were cancelled. I thought I'd surprise the two of the three of you.
And you certainly did.
Ça va, mon chéri? Tout va bien?
Oui. Très bien, bonjour.
Oui, un bonjour.
Oui.
Oh, sorry, Max. Oh, I admire your new hairstyle. It's quite a brave change.
Actually, it was just sort of a careless experiment.
Ah oui, je comprends. Un impulse.
Excuse me.
Oui. Mon chéri, tu as déjà envie de manger?
I hope Mommy wants to come.
To see stepsister from Planet Weird? Who wouldn't?
Hi.
Surprise!
Sweetheart, wait.
We thought maybe you'd like to join us for the Met. Hey, it's starting at Who the hell is this?
Kenny.
It's Todd.
Todd. This is Emma's father, Jake.
Oh, pleased to meet you, man. Kenny. Todd. Whatever.
Hi, I'm Emma, Max's daughter. You should probably come see my room.
I thought you were going to take her to a movie.
I was, and then Emma had this inane notion that you might like to join us. Little did I know we'd be walking smack in the middle of one of your little escapades. What are you? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish.
You little tad.
Kenny.
Whatever. Sorry we bothered you. Won't happen again.
Time for the movie. Coming, Mommy?
Oh, honey, I would love to come to the movies with you, but I have some work that I need to finish up, okay? Did Tad like your room?
His name is Todd.
I'll see you later, baby. Bye-bye.
What would you say if I told you I could go for round 2?
Go home already. It's Saturday. You're not getting anything done. I'll finish up here. I'd like to quote you something that Cher's character says to Nicolas Cage in one of my favorite films, Moonstruck, in the hopes that it might be helpful. Snap out of it!
And that was supposed to help me how?
No tengo la menor idea, but it sure made me feel better.
What do you have to feel better about?
Well, for one thing, I miss my old boss. That bitch never powdered or soaked, never cared about her hair or her nails. That bitch knew what she wanted and never even spared the time to consider whether or not she was afraid to go after it. That bitch would have told me to go fuck myself like 30 seconds ago.
Is Isabel here?
I just got in, but no, I don't think so. Oh.
How did you manage to get reservations on such short notice?
I know someone who slipped a maitre d' 3 large.
Ah, what a hopeless romantic you are. Speaking of which, I was looking for dresses the other day.
Don't you think we should start with diapers?
No, not for the baby, for me. I was thinking perhaps I would like to get married while I still fit in a size 0. You seem surprised. I just think a child should have a stable home environment. Like the one I had in Sherbrooke. Although, minus my My father's mistress and my mother's chauffeur.
That's funny. I always thought you French were more laissez-faire about marriage.
Only once we are married.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Yes, I just feel a little queasy. So it begins. I'll be right back.
Do you want me to go with you? Hello?
Hi, Daddy.
Emma? What's wrong?
I can't see you tomorrow. Mommy's sad.
I'm sure she'll be fine, Emma. But look, I want you to call me later and let me know how she's doing, okay?
Daddy,
And tell her I'm...
You gotta take your shoes off in the dojo.
You're moving in with your kickboxing instructor that's 6'2", 200 pounds of chiseled rapidity. So why the fuck are we dragging this shit?
Oh, Dirk's gotta train some actor who starts shooting next week. Thanks, just leave it there.
And by the way, dojo?
It's the proper term, Max.
So let me guess, when the two of you are making the samurai with two backs, he makes you call him sensei. Who's this?
It's Dirk.
And his much, much younger brother?
That's his son. Okay?
Well, why didn't you tell me that he has a son?
Max, thank you for coming by. You should really go, because I don't want to talk about this right now.
Well, you need to talk about this.
What I needed was for you to carry my eggs.
What? You mean like from your ovaries?
Former ovaries.
Well, shit, Liza, you never even asked.
You never even offered. Never. You never offered.
Liza! Stop it.
Why? So I can listen to your unique brand of insensitivity masquerading as a witty commentary?
I can't believe that after all this time.
5 years. Just watching you and Emma.
I'm sorry. You would have made a really fantastic mother. You still can.
Oh, come on. Don't give me all this crap. Don't get all overly sensitive and compassionate with me. Not now, Max.
Why the hell not? It's not like you haven't always been there for me. Even when I wasn't there for you.
You gonna tell me you love me next?
I do. I just want you to be happy.
I want you to be happy too. Are you?
I'm working on it.
Fucking men. Yeah.
You did not go to see Emma this morning. I hope that everything is okay.
Yeah, she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be... Where have you been?
The doctor.
Doctor? Oh, Isabel, I'm sorry. I was so tired. Is everything okay?
I'm not pregnant.
What?
Apparently, I am 0.5% of users for whom the test... It was wrong. There is no baby for us, Jake. Not yet. I am sorry.
No. Isabel. Isabel, I'm sorry about the baby.
No, Jake. You are not.
Look, come on. I was just a little overwhelmed. How many times have I already told you I want another kid?
Yes, but for a woman, the key to any successful relationship is knowing what a man really wants and then telling him what that is.
What, you tell me I don't want another kid?
Mon Dieu. I'm saying that I cannot believe I fell for the cliche of a French woman taken up with an American writer abroad. Yes, I know that you do want another child. But with the woman you love.
So that's it then.
Oui? Of course that's it. She loves you too. Idiot.
This place, the Anfield Flywall, and the cutout man.
The cutoff man?
Yeah, but I still don't know why boys like baseball so much.
Life never does go the way you imagined it would, does it? But then neither does a good story. A good story has unique plot twists and unexpected imagery, like the wounded heroine in all her dark depression juxtaposed ironically against the background of nature's glory. Love, 1, a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. 2, an emotion so intense as to drive one towards the brink of insanity. 3, a score of 0. Nothing. Loveless. 1. Without any love. 2. Slang. Pathetic. A big, stupid loser.
Now it's up to the hero to save the day. What do women do when they're depressed? Shop? Listen to Sarah McLachlan? No. They eat. Heading to their favorite obscure cafe where they can wallow in caloric decadence, but not before they've made that last faded outreach to their destiny.
Bonjour. Effective immediately. Please refer your calls to the following number in Paris.
Now he just needs to show her they're simpatico, in sync, but not too smugly or arrogantly. No, that won't play. He'll have to surprise her in some clumsily charming, self-deprecating way.
Pastrami? Bacon? Peanut butter?
That was for you.
You bought me Elizaveta.
Subtext. A sandwich is the best you can do, you dumb, clueless schmuck.
Forget about thoughts. Worry about deeds.
Of course. The protagonist needs to do something. Something bold. Something courageous. Perilous. Something like writing. What could be more difficult than putting one's deepest thoughts and feelings on paper? The hero could pen a story, or perhaps...
a sonnet. Yes. Then he'd rush to her side, the timing crucial, as the heroine contemplates the futility of her broken-hearted existence. Lover's Leap. 1. A high area as on a cliff, or perhaps a small, picturesque, but nonetheless hazardous bridge from which aforementioned big stupid losers jump to their deaths. Wait a minute. What the hell am I implying?
That she's distraught? Inconsolable?
Oh, come on. Like this is how she's gonna end it all? Forget it. This just isn't working.
Max! Max, wait.
Words, words, words. Not so long ago, you asked me what it is a writer cares about the most. Well, the truth is, most writers are full of shit. But who'd know that better than the person whose gift it is to read what's behind the words? My words.
Oh my God. This has gotten way too cheesy. Your first instinct was the best. Resolutions need to be simple.
No, they need to be satisfying. This is a romance. It requires a grand romantic gesture.
Have you ever noticed how most words that have love as the root, loveless, lovelorn, lovesick, they all lead to pain, sorrow, profound regret.
But the few that don't are worth the risk of the ones that do. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What you do speaks so loudly
that I cannot hear what you say."
And looking at you here right now, I realize what you've been trying to tell me all along. I only wish I'd been a better listener.
And I wish I hadn't lost you.
You did lose me, Max. You found me. That was very inspirational.
Anytime you're stuck on a thought, I'd be glad to help.
Oh, yeah?
Don't you even think about it. At least not until you've addressed my notes on chapter 5. She's a good girl.
What is the cost of living? What is the cost of living?
secrets bare all that you're not. It seems all the seams tie into knots. I wanna turn around, but go on instead. I'm hanging on by a thread. It's the same, that's the scene, flustering red. Hanging on by a thread. Talent scouts, palms itch from greed, and rivals watch and laugh while you bleed. And I wanna turn around, but go on instead. I'm hanging on by a thread. It's the same, that's the scene, flustering red. I'm hanging